All right. So Nikki once saw Bree talking to CM Punk backstage, talking him into quitting, but Nikki never told anyone. Okay, seriously, how horrible were those growing up Bella segments? Holy crap. They were just straight awful. I mean, beyond awful. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about Raw today because Raw was just awful. I'm going to try to stick to just the positive points. The problem is the positive points have negatives. But it's almost like WWE has stepped back and said, listen, if it's not a go-home Raw or the Raw right after a pay-per-view, we're not even going to try anymore. It was just really bad. It actually started out pretty good. The opening segment was decent because we had a good Triple H and Jericho going back and forth moment, which they do great. And then we thought we were going to get something new when Triple H said, I don't think that Cena deserves to face Brock Lesnar again. I was, yeah, yes, they're going to change it. Sweet. And then they had Cena come out and say he would sue if they didn't do it. But it was just a really dumb. They pretty much said, okay, we're going to give you something exciting, and then they just took it away. So it was pretty bad. But real quick, I wanted to say that if there is anyone on the chat right now, I can't see it. No one. It's either my chat is messed up where I can't see anything. I don't know. So hopefully someone will respond here in a minute, and I'll be able to see it. I can't see anything where anyone's on the chat though. So, but that's okay because I've got a lot of ranting to do. Let's see. I'm trying to stick to positives, and it's hard. The only thing that happened on Raw that was completely great with no negatives to it was Heel Dust when Goldust and Stardust attacked the Usos. That was cool, especially the chair to the knee. That was neat, especially when Stardust got that look in his eyes and he started licking his lips. He looked like a psychopath, and it was awesome. So that was cool, but Rusev attacking Mark Henry was cool. That's actually a feud that I can get into. I'm actually looking forward to because two powerhouses going at it usually creates some kind of excitement. The problem with that is we had to sit through a 15-minute tag match with Mark Henry and Big Show versus the Wyatt family, which was just awful. I mean, awful. It was boring. There wasn't really. I'm okay. I'm not going to talk about it because. Okay. We got Paige and AJ in a nice little promo together. The problem with Yep. It's doing it again. Doing it again. I'm still having uh, technical problems with my computer, which is awesome. Um, it's just not working correctly. Yeah, it's ever since the last time with power went out. Ever since that, it won't stay connected. But so Raw was not very good. I'm gonna respond to someone on chat real quick if they can't see me. Yeah, it's bad. But so what I wanted to do instead was actually go and answer some fan questions instead. So I had a few emails that really they were because I said something about The Rock last week. I said that I didn't want to see The Rock back in the ring, and I got a lot of hatred for that. Because apparently The Rock is a god that you just cannot, you just can't say anything bad about because people will hate you for it, which sucks because that means you can't have an opinion of your own. But it's just, I think The Rock is overrated. That's all there is to it. Not much more than that. I think he brings out the hypocrisy in people. A lot of hypocrisy in people. You know, and including hypocrisy in himself. So, especially where he'll say, "Oh, I love the business, and I'm back, and I'm never leaving again," and then he leaves for 6 months. That doesn't make sense to me. I believe that The Rock does love the business, but I think he loves his movie career more. If you notice, whenever he comes back, it's always to promote a movie, never really to do anything else. Like WrestleMania, he was promoting G.I. Joe. That was it. I mean, he didn't come back because he wanted to wrestle. He came back to promote a movie. And he brings out a lot of hypocrisy in fans as well, because I'm just going to use him and Hulk Hogan as an example, and Cena, because I don't really like any of the three. I think they're all three overrated. But I'll use them as an example, especially Cena arguments. One of the main arguments for him is, oh, he's terrible on the mic. All he does is say the same things over and over and over again. Okay, well, with Hogan, you have say your prayer, eat your vitamins, what you gonna do, 24-inch pythons, Hulkamania, and let me tell you something, brother. He says the same things over and over and over again. So by that argument, you have to say that Hulk Hogan is bad on the mic. Because if Cena is bad on the mic because he says the same thing over and over, then Hulk Hogan is too. Same thing with The Rock. He says the same thing over and over and over again. Rudy Poo Candy Ass, shut your mouth. It doesn't matter what you think. Know your role. Finally, The Rock has come back. If you smell it, The Rock is cooking. He says the same thing over and over and over again. So how is that any different from Cena? But because Cena is Cena, people will hate on him. And The Rock can do whatever he wants. Case in point, when The Rock came back to face Cena at WrestleMania the first time, he came back, and I was watching it with my wife. My wife doesn't watch wrestling, has never watched wrestling before me. And when he came back, I said, finally, The Rock has come back home, complete with pause. 20 seconds later, The Rock grabs the mic and says, finally, The Rock has come back home, complete with pause. So, for the next 10, 15 minutes, I systematically picked apart his entire promo. He said, I said things 20 minutes before he did, or 20 seconds before he did, and my wife was like, "Oh, is this pre-recorded?" No, it's not. It's because The Rock has been doing the same tired shtick for 15 years. But it's not okay for Cena to be the same character for 15 years, but it's okay for The Rock to be the same character for 15 years. I don't understand that argument. And that's why I think he's overrated, is because he does do the same thing over and over again. I think that Stone Cold Steve Austin made more of an impact than he did in the Attitude Era. Just the way I think, just my opinion. The other arguments for Cena is he can't wrestle. Well, look at The Rock. He has a very limited moveset as well. Clothesline, belly to back, Samoan drop, Luthez press, people's elbow, rock bottom. He's not got a huge array of moves, but it's okay for him to do that, but it's not okay for Cena to do that. Hypocrisy. Now, having said all of that, I will say that The Rock is more entertaining than Cena, and he has made more of an impact than Cena. However, he hasn't made as much money as Cena. It is specifically proven that John Cena has made more money than The Rock through merchandise. One second. There for a while, up until the Shield came in and the Wyatts came in, up until that moment, The Rock had made more money than any of the, in fact, all of the guys in WWE combined at that time. He just made more money than anybody. He has sold more merchandise than anybody, including Hulk Hogan now. So, I mean, popularity-wise, the kids love John Cena. But the final argument against Cena is the whole, well, I don't like that Cena buries everybody. This is one thing that I don't understand the argument, because it's not Cena that's burying people, it's WWE. They make the decisions. Cena is just kind of doing what he's told. So I don't see the argument there, but I will give it to you that The Rock did lose a lot, and Hogan didn't. Hogan beat everybody. He was champion for years. So, but The Rock is more fun to watch, but I think he's overrated. And in no way, shape, or form should he have ever got the belt from CM Punk. So, but either way. So with that, I mean, I've explained that millions of times, but I keep getting emails being like, "How dare you? How dare you? How dare you disrespect The Rock?" And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. That's my opinion. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin's better, Macho Man's better, Shawn Michaels is way better. There's a lot of people in the roster now that's better than The Rock, but that's my opinion. Flame me if you will. I don't really care. It's just the way. It's just my opinion, man. Just the way it is. The Rock impresses me, but not to where I'm like, oh, I can't wait till he comes back. Because really, I don't want to see him back. Because if he comes back, he's just going to beat everybody, and it's going to be like that. So, oh well, it happens. But another interesting side note to that, how people are saying that Cena is not as good on the mic as The Rock is. The best part about that is it's all charisma, because The Rock has stated that he has never came up with anything that he says. Some dude named Kevin writes all of The Rock's material. The Rock didn't even come up with Know Your Role. He didn't come up with If You Smell What The Rock Is Cooking. He didn't come up with any of that. That was all this dude named Kevin. He wrote it all. It's just that The Rock have found a way to say it. And what makes that interesting is Cena has been writing his own material for 10 years. There are only 5 people total in the WWE that writes their own material. John Cena, Chris Jericho, Triple H, Paul Heyman, and Bray Wyatt. Only 5 people write their own material. Cena's one of those guys. So, yeah, he does repeat himself. I'll admit that. He does repeat himself a lot. The hustle, loyalty, and respect thing, but he has changed his persona. He used to be the rap and freestyle guy, and then he became hustle, loyalty, and respect. There you go. So, for people that wanted to know a little tidbit about wrestling, there you go. Only 5 people write their own stuff. Interesting. I don't know. Oh, and that actually leads me to another question that I got. I'm done ranting on The Rock, and I'm probably not going to rant on The Rock anymore, so you can send your emails and all and put your hatred on me, but I'm not going to respond to him anymore because I've said my piece on The Rock several times. But it does lead me to another one from Noah, one of my friends, who asked me what I think the WWE could do to improve what they have, or to improve their product, if you will. My opinion on that: fire all the writers. Fire every single one of them. They should not have one writer on that thing ever. So, and then you hire bookers instead of writers, and you switch it around a little bit. No more of this 45 minutes of in-ring action, 2 hours and 15 minutes of promos. No more of that. We want 2 hours and 15 minutes of wrestling, 45 minutes of promos. That would improve the WWE tenfold, because right now all they care about is promos. All they care about is making money. They don't care about the product. They don't care about putting on a show. And with the upcoming talent we have, like Devitt, Sting, Kenta, Ambrose, Rollins, with those guys coming in, we have a shot at making a product that can be about wrestling again. Why is NJPW and Ring of Honor so much better than WWE? It's because they care about wrestling. Their promos are there, but they're not in there a lot. It's mostly wrestling. G1 Climax 24 for NJPW was 30 hours of wrestling, just wrestling. There were 4 promos, I think, total, and it was just the guys grabbing the mic and speaking to the crowd. And G1 Climax 24 was one of the best events put on in years, period, because it was awesome wrestling. So, fire the writers, hire bookers. And if you have to hire writers for those promos, this is where our problem lies, because they don't hire writers that know how to book logically or intelligently right now. Television has evolved, and I'm going to steal this argument from Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy tweeted this argument, and I'm going to steal it from him completely. So thank you, Matt Hardy, for this argument, because it was a beautiful argument. TV has evolved with shows like Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Sons of Anarchy, and Hannibal into being intelligent. People want intelligent, logical stuff on TV. That includes wrestling. Wrestling's not taken seriously because it's childish, or the ones that are on TV are childish. But if Ring of Honor was shown, that's more intelligent. So that's what they need to do, is hire a more intelligent writing staff. I don't know who they could get for that, though, because people don't seek to write for wrestling. It's just a fact. So, yeah, that's how I think they can improve. He also asked me, this was a random one, I'll actually do it in his words. What the hell is going on with Reigns? Why are they turning him into Cena? Okay, it's confusing right now because it seems like they're turning him into Cena, and they really kind of are, because he's not losing. He's not losing. He's destroying everyone. No one's getting a shot. So yeah, but that's really not what's going on right now. What's going on right now is they're building him as a threat for the future, because the storyline right now, the plan, is for him to face Lesnar at WrestleMania and beat Lesnar. As of right now, no one really believes he can beat Lesnar because he is very green. So they need to build him up by having him do something extraordinary. So what they're doing is we need to have this guy do something that the fans want. And what do the fans want right now? For the authority to be destroyed. So look at what he's done in the past few months. He's destroyed Kane. He's destroying Orton. He's going to destroy Rollins. And this is all going to take place over the next 8 months. And what it's going to lead to is Triple H versus Reigns. And Triple H is going to put Reigns over clean. Because who better for Reigns to beat than a legend? Than the legend, Triple H, the man. Who better? And Triple H is a big fan of Reigns, so of course he's going to put him over. He believes that Reigns is the future. And when he beats Triple H clean, and Triple H is a ring general and can put on a great match, and he's going to carry Reigns and make him look beautiful in this match, people will start believing, because that's what you have to do. Maybe after he beats Lesnar and loses the championship, maybe then they can start to humanize him, because eventually they're going to have to humanize him or he will become Cena. Cena, they did it wrong with Cena because they said, let's build this guy up to be unstoppable. And then it was like, well, why don't we just keep him unstoppable? That way in the future when someone does beat him, it's a big deal. But no one beats him. Daniel Bryan beat him. Randy Orton's beat him a couple times clean. But no one really beats him. And it's kind of a bad way they're doing it. So they are booking him wrong. And this is not Cena's fault. That's the one thing that people don't understand, is none of that's Cena's fault. Cena just does as he's told. So, So Reigns, there's going to be a problem, because once you book a guy to be unstoppable, it gets boring. Right now it's a novelty, and it's great with Lesnar because he took out Cena. But eventually, over the next 8 months, if he keeps destroying people and looking invulnerable while he's doing it, people are going to get bored of him, just like they got bored of Cena. That's what's going on with Reigns right now. Reigns is actually a decent talent. He's just really green. He has the ability and the agility to be something big. They need to really work on him. Do I believe that they should give him the rub like that and let him beat Lesnar this soon? No. However, it will be huge for the company, because Lesnar versus Reigns will sell tickets. That will put butts in the seats. Just like a Reigns Triple H, that would sell tickets. And really, that's what the WWE gives a crap about right now, and it really worries me. I mean, and that leads to what I wanted to rant about to begin with, was how worried I am right now with Kenta and Devitt, Steen. They are in NXT right now, or they're going to be in NXT. I'm worried when they get up to the WWE, because is the WWE going to book them right? Or are they just going to throw them into the mid-card and let them stay in mid-card hell forever? Very worried about that. I don't want to see that happen, because I've been following Steen and Devitt for years, and they are so good at what they do. Kenta is the same way. And for those of you, people who watch my show usually are very knowledgeable in wrestling. They're very knowledgeable. So you know who Kenta is. But for those who don't, Kenta is the inventor of the go to sleep. CM Punk stole go to sleep from Kenta. And Kenta, Daniel Bryan once did an interview with Chris Jericho where he was asked who he learned the most from in his career. And Daniel Bryan said Kenta. He said, wrestling Kenta taught me more about wrestling than any other person. And this is the great part about that. Kenta is only 2 months older than Daniel Bryan. They're the same age. So this dude, I really hope they give him something, because in all honesty, WWE does not treat their Asian superstars right. I'll give you a challenge. Find an Asian superstar in the WWE. And I mean superstar. I don't mean Taka Michinoku. I don't mean Tajiri. I mean a superstar. And just as a side note, Yokozuna does not count because Yokozuna was not Japanese. He was Samoan. He was definitely Samoan. They just used him as Japanese because they already had like 4 or 5 other Samoans in there. So find an Asian superstar in the WWE, in the history of WWE. It's very hard. I know there is one, but it's very hard. So they don't treat their Asian superstars right. Hopefully Kenza's going to change all that. And if Triple H gets to control them, they will. Hopefully with TakeOver 2, next week I'll be doing my predictions for NXT TakeOver 2. Hopefully we'll get a debut of one of those guys. I'm hoping that we will, because that really will kind of turn NXT around. Even though NXT is the best product WWE is producing right now, when Steen, Devitt, and Kenta appear, it's going to change everything, and it's going to be great. Especially when they get to the main roster. If booked right, you will see a new era in WWE, and you will see pure awesomeness. And I already know when Steen gets in, there's going to be naysayers immediately because he doesn't have the build. Steen is kind of big. He's got a Bray Wyatt build. In fact, he has exactly Bray Wyatt's build. He's kind of rotund. But Steen has this weird cardio. It's so weird. He's gone 60-minute long Iron Man matches without breaking a sweat. The dude has the strangest cardio. I've never seen someone that big with that good of cardio. And he's just so good at everything he does. The biggest problem with Steen is his finishing move. His finishing move is a package pile driver. He's not going to be able to do that in WWE. WWE banned pile drivers a while back. The only one who's allowed to do them are Kane and Undertaker. But I'm looking forward to it. I really am. That's really the only reason I'm sticking with WWE is because of that. Plus, TNA still, even though TNA's product is improving, it's still not up there yet. It's still not to that point. There are marquee matches that you should watch in TNA now, but yeah, that's all I'm saying about that. So recap of this whole thing: Raw sucked. Raw was awful. I wish Raw would have been better. I really do. But you revolve a whole show around the Bellas, and it's a failure waiting to happen. The Bellas are just not great. They're great to look at, and Bree's getting better in the ring, but man, are they terrible on the mic. They're awful. So, WWE, God, I wish they would try harder. They're stacking the deck for next week, though. They're doing good about stacking the card, which is what they need to do. They're going up against the NFL, which everyone knows every year they go up against the NFL for the first 2 or 3 weeks. It's, we got to really put it to them. We got to really try. And then they realize that they're not going to gain 9 million viewers overnight, and then they kind of quit. They do it every year. Just the way it is. So that's the end of WWE. I don't want to talk WWE anymore because when I talk WWE, I feel negative. I feel that all I have to say is negative, and I don't like being a whiner. I like being someone who wants to celebrate wrestling. So I want to talk some Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor has a huge, huge event coming up on Saturday. It's on iPay-per-view. It's going to be fantastic. It's called All-Star Extravaganza 6. Yes. First, I'll talk about the excellent Ring of Honor TV on Saturday, which is an hour long compared to Raw's 3. Thank you. Started out with War Machine and Briscoes. I've been wanting to see this for a while, and it was a war just like I thought it would be. It was amazing, and it made me sad at the end to know that we will not get to see this feud carried out. For those of you who don't know, one of the War Machine guys was injured in a motorcycle accident. It sucks, because this could have been the feud to put Ring of Honor over the top. After that, we had R.D. Evans and Moose versus Thomas and Page, which didn't really care for, but whatever. The R.D. Evans and Moose thing is good for comedy, and pretty much they're just trying to build Moose up. They're because he is kind of green. And the main event for that was Elgin versus Cedric Alexander for the title. This was weird because Elgin's great in the ring and Cedric Alexander's great in the ring. So you think, by math, 1 + 1 = 2. No, it wasn't. It was very botchy and odd. I did notice that when Cedric Alexander tried a high-flying move, he landed on his knee weird, and he may have injured his knee. This may have been the reason why the match was not great. So, could have been it. I don't know. But I was very kind of disappointed in that match. It was decent, and Cedric Alexander is going to be a big deal in Ring of Honor. So, all right. Anyway, but that was Ring of Honor TV. They only had 3 matches, and it blew Raw out of the water. 1 hour, 3 matches, 1 promo, and it was better than Raw. Just saying. All right, but anyway, for the All-Star Extravaganza 6, which I'm very excited about, there are 4 matches on this card that are almost guaranteed 5 stars. And if you're watching this right now, I don't know if you don't watch Ring of Honor, find a way to watch this. I'm telling you, if you only watch WWE, you are missing out on the wrestling world. Okay. They just announced today, actually just a few hours ago, is a 4-corner tag survival. Owens and Alexander versus Page and Whitmer versus Coleman and Watanabe versus Evans and Moose. So this is like an elimination thing. Honestly, I see Evans and Moose winning this because they're the new tag team that they're trying to build up. They're going to try to build Moose up as a monster. I'm wondering if they're going to have anything to do with the Decade, because Decade, there's a team in here from Decade that they're trying to build up as well. So this is going to be a little weird. Also just announced Mark Briscoe versus Hanson. Hanson is the other guy from War Machine, so this is how they're going to continue this feud. I see Mark Briscoe winning this just because Jay Briscoe is in a match later that I don't think he's going to win. And usually, if one of the guys loses, the other guy wins because it makes people happy. Briscoes are kind of the Cesaro of Ziggler is a better example. They're kind of the Zigglers of Ring of Honor. Everyone wants them to win. No one wants them to lose. That's the way it is. So Mark Briscoe will probably beat Hanson. I think Hanson, they'll probably hold off really pushing him until Rowe comes back and they reform War Machine. Next one was a really hard one. Silas Young versus Cedric Alexander. This one was just hard to call because they're really pushing both of these guys to the moon. But they've been pushing Silas a little longer. I'm thinking they're going to let Silas Young go over here. Cedric Alexander will come back and he will continue his run. He will continue to do it. But for right now, Silas Young, I think. So after that, Daniels and Kaz versus Strong and Jacobs from the Decade. So Decade and Daniels and Kaz. This is kind of a grudge match. The Decade has been messing with Kaz and Daniels for a while now, so this is going to be a good way for Daniels and Kaz to get back. I think Daniels and Kaz wins this because they need to have them go over. It's what the crowd will want to see. The Decade is like a heel Cena, except everyone hates Decade. They're full of some of the most talented guys in wrestling, period. But everyone wants them to lose because they're the bad guys. It's really cool. And then starts the final 4 matches, which are, I swear, 5-star guaranteed on every single one of these. Every single one of these matches is just a straight show stealer. You could add one of these matches to Raw last night, and Raw would have been amazing. Okay, so AJ Styles versus Adam Cole. You have no idea how excited I am about this match. AJ Styles is one of my absolute favorites, and Adam Cole is one of the most underrated wrestlers in the history of wrestling. And he's only been in it for like 5 or 6 years. He's fantastic. And this is going to be a show stealer all the way. I see AJ Styles going over here because Adam Cole right now is going through a thing where he's losing a lot of matches, but he's trying to claw his way back to the heavyweight title. Eventually, he will claw his way back to the heavyweight title. But first, he's got to lose a few more and become frustrated. After that, we have a no-limit match for the TV title, Lethal versus ACH. Jay Lethal versus ACH. These guys have had a match on Ring of Honor TV 2 weeks ago, and it was a blockbuster, 30-minute blockbuster. So this is going to be amazing. And I'm going to make a bold prediction here. ACH wins it and becomes the TV champion. I just see him winning it, and it's going to be a great moment because Lethal, it's time for him to move on, maybe start pushing him towards the World Heavyweight title. After that, another blockbuster. This is going to be insane. These guys have fought many, many times, and they have never disappointed. Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks, 2 out of 3 falls match. Red Dragon will win in the third fall, but because they're the champions, they're not going to give it up to the Young Bucks because the Young Bucks aren't really contracted with Ring of Honor. They do shows all over the world. They're kind of the travelers. They're awesome, though. There's rumors that they're coming to WWE. I don't see that happening. I don't know, though. So after that, main event for the World Championship, Jay Briscoe versus Michael Elgin. Once again, another blockbuster. It will be insane. Elgin is amazing in the ring, and Jay Briscoe is also amazing in the ring. I don't see Jay winning this at all. Michael Elgin right now is kind of a monster, and they're going to continue making him a monster. So, Elgin winning that one. Hopefully I'll be right on all those. I'll find out Saturday, and then I'll let you know. So, but I did get an email while just talking here. Let's see. It is a question. I don't know why you ain't on the chat. Okay, he's not on the chat, but I'll answer it anyway. Any more bold predictions? Okay. The biggest bold prediction I have that I'll go ahead and state it is I think Macho Man Randy Savage will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, along with the Poffo family, possibly just Lanny, but I think he'll be in there. It's something that needs to happen. Everyone wants to see it. They need to let bygones be bygones and put him in there. The reason why I think this is because Macho Man has a Blu-ray coming out, which I want to be getting, the story of the Macho Man, and it's narrated by Lanny Poffo, which means that the WWE is working with Lanny Poffo. So this could be it. I did learn today from one of my Twitter followers. This is something they told me something about wrestling I didn't even know. Was that before his death, Macho Man stated that he didn't want to be in the Hall of Fame. He never wanted to be in the Hall of Fame and told his family not to let him go into the Hall of Fame. If that is his wish, then I don't want him in the Hall of Fame, because if Macho Man doesn't want him there, don't put him in there. But that doesn't mean that Lanny Poffo, who has always tried to stay in the limelight, won't let him in there just because he'll get some rub too. So that's it. That's my big bold prediction, and it's not even that bold. So anyway, I've only been going for 40 minutes, but I really don't have anything else to talk about because Raw sucked. I wish it didn't, but it did. So, oh well. Man, Okay, back to the Bella thing. I'd hate to harp on this again, but if they're really going to make it Paige versus Nikki at Night of Champions, that's going to be horrible. If they could just add AJ into that, it would make it a little better. That's all I'm saying. So, but anyway, that would be it. I'm going to go ahead and drop this at 40 minutes because no one wants to watch a YouTube video that is an hour long. So I don't think it's going to be an hour long because I had some technical difficulties in the beginning. So anyway, you can catch me at my email address, smarkcast@gmail.com. I changed my Twitter handle. It is now @smarkcast. It's a lot easier than having many different things to say. But I'll put it all in the description of the YouTube video whenever I get a chance. Right now, my wife is cooking and it smells fantastic. So I've really got to get down there. That's the real reason why I'm quitting. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is a SmarkCast, and I am Darren.